Hello, and welcome to Computers for Beginners DVD. My name is Eran Scheflan, and I'm the president of Ouitek, a technology consulting firm in Manhattan, New York. We design and service computers and networks for companies and private residences. We also install and service any electronic devices such as TVs, security, sound, and phone systems. I've been teaching people like you about computers for many years. Computers are fun, they're exciting, and they're very useful tools, and I'm going to just show you how great they can be for you. In this DVD, I'll teach you all you need to know about the computer with its various attachments and peripherals. You will also learn the various operating systems and computer programs, also known as applications. Finally, you will learn all you need to know about the computer networking and the biggest network of them all, the Internet. Now, some of the information I will relay to you might sound a bit technical, but don't feel intimidated since I'm trying to give you as much information as possible, and you can always watch any chapter again and again. Let's have some fun. See you inside. The computer today is a widely used common household item, like the refrigerator or the TV. Personal computers, also known as PCs, are manufactured by many different companies, some larger than others. You might have heard of some of them, such as Dell, Gateway, Sony, HP, and Apple, to name a few. While they all have different external shapes and designs, as you can see right here, the basic characteristics are always similar, and I'm going to explain that right now. This is the base unit. The base unit is the main part of your PC. Some people call it the hard drive or the CPU, but these are names that are actually incorrect since they refer to different internal components within the base unit. The base unit comes in a few variations. When it lies flat horizontally on the table, it's called a desktop computer, which is more common in the office or workplace. But when it stands upright, it's called a tower, or a mini tower, as we can see right here. Inside the base unit are the main components that make the computer. The processor is the first thing, and that functions as the brain of the system. It oversees all the components of the system. The memory, also called RAM, which is an abbreviation of random access memory, is used by programs to perform necessary tasks while the computer is on. The hard drive, which is the primary storage unit on the PC, differs from the RAM since it retains information even when the computer is turned off. The hard drive stores all of your computer's information, including the operating system, the programs, and the personal information. The graphics card, or the video card, is a device that displays images and motion video on your monitor. There are many different types of video cards, and some computers have built-in video chips on the main system board. Today's computer games demand a lot of graphics power for smooth 3D gaming experience and better motion video display. The sound card gives PC audio capability. This is a component that produces music, sound effects, and vocals from your computer. It allows you to connect speakers, a microphone, and line-in devices such as musical instruments, cassette tape decks, and much more. The CD or DVD drive is designed to read CDs and DVDs, and some of these drives can even write files and information back to them. The floppy disk drive is a drive that reads from or writes to separate disks which the user inserts into the drive. Floppy disks have been rendered obsolete since they only hold a very small amount of information, and most computers today don't even come with them anymore. The network adapter or network interface card is a piece of hardware that's designed to provide computer communication over a computer network. It also is one of the ways you can connect to the internet. Today, some computers use wireless network cards, which allow connection to multiple computers and even the internet with no wires at all. That's called Wi-Fi. The modem is a device which allows a computer to talk to another computer over a phone line by dialing into a network. This is the other way people can access the internet. The power supply connects to the outlet and provides electricity to the entire system. Finally, we reach the motherboard. Now this is the main circuit board that all the other internal components plug directly into it. Okay, now we've just covered all the basic components that reside inside the base unit. Let's move on. Now these are the basic components of a computer. A base unit, a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, speakers, a web camera, a microphone, And down below, we have a printer. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the back of the computer. Well, there you are. Now let's take a look at the back of the base unit and understand where all your components, peripheral, and accessories connect to. On the back panel of the computer, we can see the power connector for the power cord, which goes from here to the wall. The keyboard and mouse connectors, which plug in right here. The speakers, microphone, and line-in ports are located right here. First, we'll plug in the speakers. Now, let's plug in the microphone. The network port connects you to the network or high-speed modem and plugs in right here. The video port connects you to your monitor and could be either an analog VGA plug, just like this one right here, or the newer digital DVI connector, just like this one right here. Now here we have additional video output connectors that connect to your TV or other accepting sources, and they use an S-video, just like this one right here, or composite cables, just like these. The modem has two ports, one that accepts the phone line and another that accepts an external phone. Now here you can see the parallel port, serial port, and joystick port. These types of connections are not really used anymore since they've been replaced with a more standard plug, the USB port. USB, seen here, stands for Universal Serial Bus. This type of connector has become very dominant in today's computer, and you can never have enough of these. Here, you can see FireWire ports. These are another way to attach devices to your computer, such as external hard drives, for example. Finally, you can see some additional empty slots right here on the motherboard. These are used for future expansion. Now, usually when you buy a computer these days, it comes with a simple color-coded guide that shows you step-by-step how to assemble a unit and get it ready for the first time of usage. Now let's go and take a look at the front of the base unit. On the front of the unit you can see the CD or DVD drive access button that opens and closes the unit. The on-off switch, which turns the unit on or off in some cases. If the system gets overloaded and unfortunately freezes, you can hold it down for about 10 seconds to force shut down the computer. The power indication light tells you that the computer is on or off. The hard drive indication light will tell you that the computer is accessing information on the hard drive. In some cases, you can also find an extra panel that usually has variation of connections such as FireWire, USB, speakers, headphones, and microphone right here. Okay, so that just about sums up the base unit. Now let's talk about something else. Computer monitors used to be big and bulky. Like today's newest TVs, we've been introduced to flat panel monitors, also called LCDs, and that stands for liquid crystal display, such as this unit right here. There are also newer types of flat panel screens based on OLED technology, and that stands for organic light emitting diodes. Now these screens will be brighter and more energy efficient and will be introduced very soon. The keyboard and mouse come in many different variations, some with additional features, but they do all the same thing, which is allow you to interact with the computer much like the remote control on a TV. The mouse controls the pointer on the screen. The left mouse button is used to select and confirm options within Windows, and the right mouse button is used to present your alternative options from whatever position your pointer is in. In some cases, there might also be a center wheel, which can be used to scroll up and down within a document or web page. If we take a look at the keyboard, we can see that it resembles a typewriter keypad and has the alphabet along with a few other buttons and additional symbols. This long key is used to create spaces within your text, and the Enter key is used to confirm a selection. These are the function keys. They go from 1 to 12, and you can use them for various shortcuts. The Backspace and Delete buttons can be used to remove text and other items. The Shift key can be used to capitalize a letter or select the top row of symbols for keys that contain two symbols. The Caps Lock key works in a similar manner, but effectively locks in the Shift function. Also, you can find keys for navigation such as the arrow keys, page up, page down, and the Home and End buttons. The Alt and Control keys can be used with other keys for shortcuts within applications. Many functions can be accomplished using either the keyboard or the mouse. The printer, which is the device that outputs text, graphics, and even photos, some printers today called multifunction printers, are all in one unit that are capable not only of printing, but of scanning and faxing too. There's another part of the computer we've not talked about yet: web cameras. These cameras attach to your computer usually via USB plug, and they can be used within software applications to interact with other users over the internet using video email, video chat, or online conferencing. Some web cameras have built-in microphones, eliminating the need for a separate microphone. Now that we have explained all of the hardware components, let's talk about notebook computers. Notebooks are portable computers, smaller versions of the desktops we've just discussed. The main advantage is that they can be used almost anywhere. They are portable, lighter than a desktop, and they take much less space. But for the same price, a notebook tends to be less powerful than a comparable desktop. Every computer uses an operating system, which is the main software that all other applications on the machine depend on to function correctly. On most PCs, the operating system is Windows or Macintosh OS. The type of operating system that's installed on your computer usually appears on the screen each time you turn on your computer. Now that Windows is finally loaded, we can start using our computer. This is the desktop area. The desktop is the main workspace where you can open and work with files and programs. All of these files and programs are visually presented to you using different windows, such as this one, for example. You can also store shortcuts to files and programs, as well as customize the look of the desktop with different background images, also called wallpapers. Now, before we proceed, let's get a crash course at using our mouse in Windows. As we discussed before, there are two main buttons on the mouse, the left and the right. Left clicking can be used to execute almost anything on a computer. To select a file, just hover over it with the mouse pointer and use the left mouse button to left click it once. Now the file is highlighted, which means it has been selected. To open an application on the desktop, you need to double-click the program shortcut. Just move the mouse until you hover over the icon and click the mouse button twice, hence the term double-click. There is also such a thing called drag and drop. In order to drag and drop, you need to hover over the icon you wish to drag and click and hold down on the left mouse button. Then, while still holding the mouse button down, you can move the mouse anywhere you want, and that will actually drag the file until you let go of the left mouse button and release the icon. The right mouse button is used to right-click. You can right-click anywhere to get a menu that displays all your options from that exact spot the mouse is hovering over. You really should practice these moves since they are important for your computer experience. Let's go ahead and left-click on the Start button at the bottom of the screen. Once open, we can find many different links. My Documents is the default location where most of your personal documents should be saved. you should save your pictures and images in My Pictures, and your music files in My Music. The Favorites is a menu that once you hover over it, pops up to the right and shows all your favorite internet links that you have saved from Internet Explorer. My Computer provides a visual summary of your available drives, folders, and files. My Network Places is used within an environment with more than one computer. The control panel can be used to manage your default settings, such as time and date, display settings, and printer defaults. Printers and Faxes is a link which shows the printers and fax machines that have been installed on your machine. Help and Support can be used to look up helpful answers to many questions that you may have. The Search function is used to locate files and folders that are saved on your system. The Run function is used to run different functions, but that's more for advanced users, so we can skip it for now. Log Off shuts you out of the current Windows session you're running and goes back to the welcome screen that you can see in the beginning when you first log into Windows. Now the Turn Off button is used more frequently. By clicking on this button, we can see that a menu comes up with 3 different buttons. Standby, which puts the computer in a low power state, ready to be accessed faster. Turn Off, this is how you fully turn off your computer. It closes all running applications and completely shuts down your machine. And Restart, which acts as the same as Shutdown button, only that after the shutdown procedure is complete, it boots the computer back up again into Windows. Now, here on the left side of the Start menu, you can see the current default Internet web browser and email application. Below that area are shortcuts to your recently accessed programs. And down here is where you'll find the All Programs link. When you hover over it with the mouse, a menu pops up that shows all available applications that are currently installed and available for you to use on your computer. Okay, let's move on back to the desktop area by left-clicking once again on the Start button and closing the Start menu. Next to the Start button, you can find the taskbar. Since your operating system is capable of multitasking, you will often find yourself working with multiple windows simultaneously. The Windows bar allows you to quickly switch between the different windows by clicking on the window button you want to bring forward. On the taskbar, we often can see the Quick Launch bar. This area has small icons for frequently used programs, and it makes it easier to run these applications without the need to go into Start menu and search the full list of applications you have on the machine. All the way to the right, you can see the System tray. This is where Windows displays notifications and the current time. If you hover over the clock with the mouse, you'll also see a pop-up that'll show you today's date. Now on the left of the clock, you can see a few more small icons and possibly a small arrow like this one that hides some more of these behind it. These icons represent applications that are currently running in the background of your machine. They are usually loaded on your computer's memory when you start up the machine. And they are here to occasionally display different notifications from various programs installed on your machine. The main desktop area is where we'll see different icons. Depending on the manufacturer of the machine, the wallpaper will be different, as will the amount and type of icons on the screen. We are using a new brand name computer from a well-known manufacturer, so your experience should probably be very similar. This icon right here is called the Recycle bin. This is the location where Windows stores deleted files. When we open the Recycle bin, we can restore a file we deleted by mistake, or we can empty the Recycle bin to clear up disk space. Windows is a highly customizable application. One of the main places you can go to change your default options is called the Control Panel. As mentioned before, you can access it by clicking the Start button and clicking Control Panel. Once open, we can see that the Control Panel has 10 different categories that you can choose from to get to the right place. Now I must warn you that some of the changes that you might be making within the control panel might not be so compatible with your computer and may cause some problems, so it's best to be very cautious and only make necessary changes. Another thing I wanted to show you is how to search for a file on your computer. Let's go back to the Start menu and click on the search link. This opens the search result window, and on the left we can see that Windows is trying to help us find what we're looking for. Just click the type of file you want to find, and then type at least part of the file name, and click the search button. That will start the search process. As soon as it has finished scanning your entire hard drive for the file, you'll be able to see the results here on the right. Now that I've explained the basics of navigation on your Windows computer, let's move on and learn about the Internet. The Internet is a global network of computers that are all linked together. It provides access to an almost endless amount of information. I'm sure that by now you've all heard of the Internet and are excited to learn and to give it a try. But before you can start, you need to connect your computer to the information superhighway. And that's when you need to decide what type of connection you'll be using to achieve that goal. Now there are two main ways to get to the Internet. The first is to use a standard telephone line by connecting it directly from your home telephone jack to the back of the computer, right into the modem jack. Then, we use a special telephone number to dial up into the Internet and start browsing the Internet. That type of connection didn't perform so well since it was slow, and the more information was added to the Internet, the longer time it took to access the information. The second high-speed Internet option would be your cable TV provider. As with DSL service, the cable company will provide you with an external modem that on one end connects to the cable TV jack and on the other end to your computer to the network adapter or via USB cable to one of your available USB ports. I personally prefer cable service because it's faster and more reliable than DSL. Contact your local cable TV company or telephone service provider and inquire about high-speed Internet access. Check out the different price points and decide what's best that fits you. And keep in mind, the faster the connection, the better the experience. Okay, now that we've talked about getting online, let's learn how to browse the Internet, or as it's called, surf the net. The Internet Explorer is a browser that allows you to reach different websites. Okay, so then you open the Internet Explorer, and the first thing that comes up is my homepage. My homepage is the main webpage. It's my default webpage. You can have whatever homepage that you'd like, and you can change your homepage at any time. This is the address bar. This is where you type different addresses for Internet websites. This is a toolbar, and the toolbar has all these different buttons. This is the back button. The back button goes back when you're navigating between pages. The forward button goes forward when you're navigating between pages. When you're navigating to a website and kind of see that it's not really going anywhere, you can hit stop and put in a new web page, a new web address. This is the refresh button. When you're again trying to reach a certain web page and it's not picking up that information, you can click refresh. This is the home. The home button takes you back to your home page. This is a search function that opens up a search default program for you to search for different things on the Internet. This is the favorites button. The favorites button opens up a menu. This menu has all the different favorite Internet websites that you'd like. You can save whatever web page you'd like by clicking the add, giving a name to the web page that you'd like, and clicking OK. As you can see, it added the website right here. All these different websites are saved websites and links to different places on the Internet. These different websites are portals from different companies. Now, let's close out of the favorites and open the history. The history button opens up another menu that shows you all the different places you've searched in a different time. For example, this one shows us where we've been today. Okay, this is the print button. The print button allows you to print the material that you'd like to see. If you see this material and this web page is what you'd like, you click on the print button and out comes a print from your printer. Okay, let's talk about search engines. Search engines are different websites that are hubs or places where you can start searching for information on the internet. Since the internet has so much information, you have to have a starting point. So let's go, for example, to one of our favorites that I have saved here. For example, Yahoo. I'm sure you've heard of Yahoo on TV commercials or anything like that, and you'll see that Yahoo, close out of the favorites, Yahoo is a website that has an endless amount of information. It is unbelievable. If you drag down, and you can see, you can have links here to almost anything that you'd like. For example, real estate, shopping, sports, travel, TV, photos, personals, anything you can imagine, movies, horoscopes, jobs. So let's search for something. Let's search, for example, for dogs. And I'll click Yahoo Search. And the results come right away. As you can see here, it says results 1 out of 10 are projected right now of about 155 million different results for dogs. That came in 0.03 seconds. Now, if we look at the different options here that we got, Canine Gallery, for example, let's see what that is. We click on that link and up comes a website called caninegallery.com. Okay, let's go back to Yahoo. We'll click the back button and click the back button again, and now we're back in Yahoo. There are other websites that handle search engines, for example. There are other search engines, for example, Google. Let's type Google. Now this is google.com. Google is another search engine. There's not a lot of information, as you can see, that's just all over the place like with Yahoo. It's a little bit different. Let's do Google Images and search for different images. What kind of images would you like to do? Let's look up dogs again, or cats in this case. Look for images of cats. We click Search Images, and up come the first 20 of about 1.3 million images of cats. Okay, going back to Google. Google also has a great feature called News. We'll click on this button. Up come the latest news headlines from all over the world. You can see sports news, science and technology news, business news, US news, or world news. Okay, now that we clicked on US news, these are the top headlines for the US news. Another great website for news is the New York Times. I have it in my favorites. Let's drag down and go down to the New York Times website. And we click on the link and up comes the New York Times. As you can see, this is the latest headlines from the New York Times. Okay. Now, another thing that's very good to do on the internet is check out eBay. I'm sure you've seen the commercials. eBay is a big auction website. You can buy or sell almost anything on eBay. So let's click on the address bar right here and click on the backspace and type in the next website we're going to take a look into, and that would be Expedia.com. Expedia.com is one of the largest online travel agencies, and as you can see, you can book your flights, hotels, car reservations, vacations, different cruises, and activities at your destination. Let's see, let's say we want to book a flight from New York to Las Vegas, and the We're going to select our date of departure. We're going to fly out on Friday the 30th and return, let's say, on Wednesday. Now that would be for 2 adults. And we want to search for flights. Let's click on search for flights. And Expedia runs and searches from different airlines. And okay, so what we got is a result from these different airlines. And the cheapest non-stop flight would be $391. And one stop would be $343. The difference is about $50, so most people prefer the non-stop, and this is why they choose that option. Let's say if we choose that option, let's click on that and see what comes up. The flight comes provided by US Airways, and that would be the departing flight. So as you can see down here, you can choose your different departing flight based on the time you leave New York, and also where you leave in New York, because it could be JFK Airport and other different airports, and when you arrive to Las Vegas. Let's say we choose US Airways, and we'll click choose this departure, and now it says choose a return flight. So we look at the different return flights, and we see that Continental is the first provider with a return flight from 10 p.m. departing Las Vegas, but it arrives to Newark Airport, and we will choose this return. And okay, so the total price for the trip is $783, and average price per passenger is $391.9. And as we can see here, there's a notation that says that the outbound flight, which departs from JFK, is different than the return flight, which comes back to Newark Airport. I can approve that, that's not a problem. Okay, if you see down below, there's different hotels to add if you'd like, and a rental car, which you can add. All right, now let's try and see about cruises. We'll click on cruises and we'll take a look, and you see they advertise Carnival Cruise Lines. And let's choose a cruise to Hawaii. Okay, let's go to Hawaii, and we'll choose February 2006 as our departure date. You can see down here the different cruise lines, and we'll just say show all cruise lines, and we'll click search for cruise. Expedia is searching for cruises. Okay, results of the cruises. Page 1 of 1. 9 cruises. Okay, 15-night Hawaii cruise, Los Angeles round trip. On Princess Cruise Lines, the ship's name is Island Princess. As you can see right here, the ship rating is 4-star cruise ship. The prices for an inside cabin, ocean view cabin, balcony. Okay, let's see below here. If we scroll down, you can see a 15-night Hawaiian cruise that's round trip based out of San Diego. We keep going down, another round trip in LA, another round trip from San Diego, and a Honolulu round trip, but a 7-night. Okay, so these are the different options you could do for cruises also. Okay, let's go to another website, which I'd like to show you, and that would be continental.com. Now, since we were searching before for different tickets for flights, you can see the Continental will sell you tickets directly for their own airline, and you have the ability right here to print your boarding pass or access your account, your mileage OnePass account. Okay. Online, you can buy tickets for almost anything. Let's take a look at buying tickets for movie theaters. Let's go to fandango.com. Fandango, as you can see here, is a website that gives you the opportunity to see premise for a lot of different movies that are running, now playing movies, as you can see right here, coming soon movies. You can get some behind the screens. You can see all trailers to a lot of the different movies, as you can see right here. What's good about Fandango is that you can actually purchase your movie ticket before you go to the theater for a minimal fee, and what that will give you is the opportunity to come to the theater and not have to wait in line or miss the movie that you'd like to see. Alright, let's take a look at searching for showtimes and buying tickets. You can search by city or zip, or you could search by movie name. And here they have a list of a couple of movies that are going on, and you can select one of these. Let's look at Chicken Little. Now on the left of the screen you could see a picture of the movie and the release date, the running time, the movie rating, the cast, the director, what type of movie it is, and the entire synopsis for the movie. Right here you can see below, based on the city or zip code, you can see the different movie theaters that are playing this movie. When you click on one of the movie theaters, you have the ability of looking for a showtime. Let's say we want to go see a movie on Monday, and you can see by scrolling down, you can select the time that you'd like to go see the movie, and by clicking on that time, you can buy the ticket. You go through the process of purchasing the ticket, adding the number of people to your party, and going through the process of payment. That's how you buy tickets online. Online, there are different websites that would provide free recipes. Let's take a look at one of those, and that would be Epicurious. Epicurious.com is one of the world's greatest recipe collections, and they're actually celebrating their 10-year anniversary right now. You could search for recipes from any kind of ingredient. Let's select, for example, lamb. When you select lamb, this is one of those online pop-ups. Let's just close that and scroll down here, and you can see that when you select lamb, you can see the ratings right here. The higher the fork rating, the better the recipe. And let's select a recipe like lamb chops with artichokes and rosemary. And this was published in Bon Appetit on April of 2004. We'll click on this recipe, and you can see that you have a lot of different abilities. Once you see the recipes, you can see here 92% of the people, of the users who've actually made this recipe, will actually make it again. And lamb chops with artichokes and rosemary, there's a little bit of a premise here. Below are the ingredients right here. We'll scroll down and you can see the way of preparation, and it says that it makes for 4 servings. Now below is a place for notes and other people's opinions about this recipe. As you can see, delicious. Now but scrolling up, you can see here that there is also add this recipe to my recipe box, where if you actually go ahead and register, which is free, you can receive your own recipe box and you can collect your own recipes, ones that you like. You could view the recipe box, you can print a recipe, you can email a recipe to a friend, or you can even send it to your cell phone. This website also shows a lot of lessons about cooking and drinking. You have reviews about restaurants in different places. Let's select a city like London, and you can get some premise about different types of restaurants in London. That's about this website. Let's take a look at another website that actually teaches you about wine, and that would be wine.com. Wine.com can teach you the basics of wine. As you can see here, wine one-on-one, questions and answers, how to select wine, a glossary of wine terms, pairing of wine and foods, and different classes about drinking and serving. Now this website also has a wine shop, and it also has wine clubs that you can join. It also shows a gift center where you can create gift baskets. Let's take a look at the wine shop, and you can see that they have their top selling wines. These are the top 3. Their top rated wines, top 3. You can look at browse all top rated wines, and you can see down here at the wine outlet, as long as you keep scrolling below, you could select wines by the price if you would like to choose a bottle with 25 and below, different price ranges that'll suit your own, red, white, pink, bubbly, or from different regions in the world. When you click on wine clubs, you can join a wine club and actually receive a monthly selection of wines, where every month you will receive a few bottles of wine and you can enjoy them. You can also select different gourmet foods. The gourmet foods, you can indulge in delicious chocolates, desserts, cheeses, and more. These will be sent to your destination in prime condition. And you can also make gift baskets and send gift baskets anywhere you'd like. Let's take a look at one of the different destination websites that provides maps. And let's click on mapquest.com. This is one of those websites where you can actually find maps and directions to different locations, look up addresses and phone numbers find airports, hotels, restaurants, and more. Let's take a look here and click an address, and in maps, find a map for an address. And we'll write down the city, the state, and the zip code. And click on Get Map. And MapQuest automatically shows you, if you type in a wrong address, MapQuest will give you the closest that it can find. And we'll click on that. And as you can see, here's a map with a red star right at your address. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, or you can zoom in between. If you'll see closely, you'll see that the zoom is all the way down to the street level, or the zoom can go all the way to city level, to the regional level, or as far out as the country. Now, MapQuest, one of the really good things about MapQuest is directions. If you need directions from any place, from one point to another, you can put your starting address right here. And your ending address right here. And you can click Get Directions. Again, if MapQuest sees that your address is wrong or mistyped, it will try to give you the nearest solution that it can find. So let's click again on Get Directions. And here is the directions from point A to point B. From our start point to the end point, the total estimated distance would be 21 miles, 0.27. And the total estimated time to take for us to travel there would be approximately 30 minutes. Now, if you can see below, you can see a turn-by-turn description and how much of a distance of each piece of that travel that you need to do. Below, if we keep scrolling down, you will see a map that shows you your start point and the road you travel all the way to your ending point. You can zoom in and play on the map and click on the map to see your starting point. And you can click on the map to see your ending point. There we go. Now, MapQuest also tries to give you a lot of different offers, things that you might interest you in the area, like the Holiday Inn in New York, and links to other different websites that might interest you more, as we discussed before, like Expedia.com. You can print your map and your directions, as you can see right here, your start point, your end point, and then you could take this with you. You can either send it to a phone or a PDA, or you can email it to yourself. That's how we find maps and directions using MapQuest. Online, there are a lot of different auction websites, and one of the largest auction websites is called eBay. Let's go to ebay.com and take a look at this auction website. And here on eBay, as they say, whatever it is, you can get it right here. You can get anything you can imagine on eBay. You can buy and shop for items, you can sell your own items, and you can create a My eBay account, which is where you will track your eBay activities, which is what you buy and sell. There's also a community where eBay people, they learn and they connect and they talk to each other. And there's a help area right here. This is the search area for eBay, where you can search for whatever item you'd like to be looking. There are actually a lot of places you can search for items. This is another search area in eBay, where you can search by categories, and you can search for an item within a certain category. These are the categories, as you can see. Let's click out of those. And if we scroll down here, you'll see that eBay Motors is here, and different eBay stores. These are the more categories right here below. So let's say we want to go to look for a digital camera. And we'll click on cameras, and the first thing that comes up under the cameras and photo category would be all these different categories, subcategories I should say, and we're looking for a point and shoot digital camera. We'll click on that, and up come 23,982 different items, and that means that all these auctions are currently running on eBay from different sellers. And as you can see some of the images of these different cameras that are available. Let's find the one we're looking for. And let's say we're looking for this Minolta camera. We'll click on this camera. You can see the picture of the camera, the time left for the auction, which is 9 days and 20 hours. There's a buy it now option. If you click on this, you could buy the camera without going through the whole process of the auction itself. This is the information for the seller. This is when the auction started, right here. And the quantity, there are 13 available cameras from this seller. Let's get out of this one and go back, and we'll scroll down to a different auction. And let's find a different auction. Let's click on this Sony camera. As you can see, if you scroll down on the same page, the same seller information and the time left on the auction. You always want to keep an eye on how much time is left on the auction, since sometimes the time might be running out very soon. And if you want to make your move, you need to make it quick. So you can see there's more information. The more you go down, you can see more information from the different sellers, and in some cases the sellers have a big presence online. And as you can see here, there's more detailed close-up camera pictures. And we can see here that the camera is new and sealed in the box. More information, specifications, etc. Okay, let's go into another category on eBay. Let's go back to the main page. You can click on the logo up here and always go to the home page of eBay. Let's click on eBay Motors. Let's say we're looking for a car. And if you see all here, there's a lot of people sell cars also on eBay. Anything is for sale on eBay. So let's click on the vehicle make and say we're looking for a BMW. Now you can see here the vehicle model. You can select whatever model that you're looking for. Let's say we're looking for a 3 Series BMW, and we'll click on search. Now, up come 521 different items on the BMW 3 Series. And you can see that it's categorized by the make and model, the year, mileage, the amount of bids are right here, the current price, and the time left for the auction. Let's go to one of these auctions that's going to run over. This auction is going to be over in 8 hours and 25 minutes. Let's click into this car. Okay. As you can see, 2001 BMW 3 Series with low miles. The current bidding price for this is $25,770. As you can see, it says here, reserve not met. What does that mean? Let's click on that, and you can see that reserve price auction. Some auctions have a reserve price, a hidden minimum price on their item. So what that means is basically that the seller has a certain price that below that he will not sell the vehicle. So until the reserve price has not been met, the car is not for sale. Now you can see here, the buy it now price is $29,770. The time left for this auction is 9 hours. Let's scroll down and show you that a lot of these car auctions have very, very specific information. For example, the amount of miles on the car, type of transmission, and all the different specifics of the car. The standard equipment, as you can see here, everything that is included in the car is listed. Now if we go even further down, you could see a lot more pictures. Let's keep scrolling down and look for those pictures, because a lot of these sellers, they want you to see all the pictures that you can for this car. Now, even if there's any scratches and stuff like that, they will show you that because they want to make sure that you're comfortable with making your purchase. And now you can see also the interior of the car and the condition of the seats. And a lot of these eBay auctions show you excuse me, show you the mileage on the car to make sure that you see that it is a true mileage count for what they're selling you. And that is the engine of the car. And here you can see the VIN number, so you know exactly what car you're getting. Now, I want to remind you that when you actually place a bid on eBay and you actually have to buy the car if you are the winner. So you can't back out of it once you actually go ahead and make the winning bid. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go into cell phones. You can see in cell phones, you could select different cell phones, and you can bid on cell phones. And that's probably the gist of information. If you keep scrolling through eBay, let's go back to that main page. The more you get to know eBay, the more you use the help area and learn more about eBay's different areas and different options, you'll see that it is an unlimited area where you can buy and sell things. Now, another thing that I'd like to mention is that eBay has a service that it uses a service called PayPal for a lot of its transactions. PayPal, as you can see here, an eBay company, is a company that handles the eBay transactions. It's one of the safest ways to buy and sell things from different people on eBay, since it has a certain level of insurance for your purchases and will assure that your buyer or seller is protected so that people don't just receive goods from other people and not send the merchandise, and vice versa. Now, in order to use PayPal, you obviously have to create an account and register your either bank account or credit cards or something that will be used in order to pay. That's about it for eBay. Enjoy. Now I want to talk about instant messaging. Instant messaging is a format of sending messages back and forth instantaneously between your computer terminal and another computer terminal. And that other computer terminal could be anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. So long as it's connected to the internet, it has the same application such as AOL Instant Messenger or MSN Instant Messenger or Yahoo Instant Messenger, one of those big three names or any other small ones. You can talk to people instantaneously, which is different than email, because in email you have to send it and wait for them to receive it and open it and reply. And here, this is a much more faster service. Let's take a look at and contact one of our friends here that are online. And internationally, we could say, hopefully they're on the other side. And let's see if they're available. As you can see, the user is writing a message. How are you today? I can drag the menu down a little bit to get a bigger, wider screen. And basically what I'm having now is a conversation back and forth with a user that could be even, on the other side of the world from where I'm located. You could talk to family and friends and keep in touch, because people tend to not have the ability to keep in touch, and this is a very, very good way to keep in touch. See, this is a way that we can communicate back and forth. Now, simultaneously, what's nice with instant messengers is that I could use another user and actually talk to another user. And you could talk to multiple users at the same time, which makes it a lot more interesting. Let's take a look at this user. And see if they can reply to us also. And you can see that this noise comes up because the menu wants to come up to the front, because that user just sent us a message. So I could click on that, and then it shows that, see, the other user has replied also. And as you can see, we are now having a multiple conversation with multiple people. And this is instantaneously, where both these people could be in completely different places on the globe, and we're all having a conversation. So on one side, I'm saying great to this user, and on the other side, I can type great for this user on a completely different side of the world, and they are both receiving this instantaneously. Another thing that's really good about the instant messenger services is that you could actually have voice and video conversations with these. And let's take a look if we can click up a video conversation. Hi, how are you? Hold on one second while I close the other user. Okay, so as you can see, this is the video area, and you can see it's a very nice screen, and you can see the user on the other end. And this is my area that shows me my camera, as you can see. And here this user is sending me a goodbye message, so we can say goodbye for now and click out of that user. And now we'll concentrate on the user that we have right now and the video conversation. And hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay. I was just having a conversation on the other side of the globe, and now I'm on the other side of the globe having another conversation. So it's a very,
That's great.
it's a very great tool. I love the instant messenger. It's a great tool.
Yes.
So how's it on your end of the world?
Oh, it's very nice. The weather is cold, but otherwise it's good. Would you like me to send you a picture that I just took in Orlando, Florida?
Okay, great. Sure. So as you can see, you have the ability to send files instantaneously also. So if you take, let's say, a digital picture at some location and you want to just transfer that picture to another user, then the user is going to send me right now an instant message. Here you go. And as you can see, I received here, it shows me the size of the file that I'm receiving, and it says here I can accept the file, I could save it directly to my hard drive, or I could decline the receive of that file. In this case, I know the user and I accept the file, and I'm going to click on accept, and that will show me that the picture has been downloaded to my computer. And now I will click on the link for the picture, and as you can see, here's a picture of what seems to be Disneyland in Orlando, Florida. So I guess you went to vacation in Disneyland?
Yes, and it was wonderful.
Oh, that's great.
I recommend it.
Well, as soon as I get to your part of the world, I'll definitely try it.
That's nice. Maybe someday we'll go together.
That would be wonderful. So now I can close out of this image and go back to the conversation with the user. And well, thank you very much for helping me demonstrate the instant message service, and hopefully people are going to more and more use it and enjoy it.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, and goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Now, as I was saying before, these instant messages service are great tools to communicate over the internet instantaneously, and they all require you to actually go ahead online. For example, with MSN.com, you click on the messenger, and then you go ahead and click on a download, because you need to download the service, and you need to go ahead and install the service. And when you install the service, that will require to go excuse me, through an installation and a registration and etc. Because you need to actually create your own username, and that username will be your sign-in name, and your password will go into together for the ability for you to use the service. So enjoy the service. It's a great tool, and have fun with it. We've reached the end of our Computers for Beginners DVD. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation and are eager to start your own experience with computers and the internet. Don't forget that almost every major manufacturer, retailer, and business, as well as many private people, have a presence on the internet. So go ahead and surf as your heart desires. Connect with friends and family using email, instant messaging, and different video conferencing programs. It only gets better with time. On this DVD, we've given you the basic tools to get started. Look for our future DVDs where we'll expand even deeper on the topics presented here today. See you soon!
Thank you, Eran, for that informative presentation. Hello, my name is Bessie Neshin. I'm an IFPA certified personal trainer, and I want to help you achieve optimum health while using your computer, whether you work in an office or work from home. You've just received a wealth of information in the preceding segments in learning how to utilize the many facets of personal computing. The information gateway is waiting for you. Enjoy the ride. But an area that should not be neglected when using the computer is our health. Because sitting for countless hours a week at a desk or a computer certainly does not contribute to better health. You may have already begun to experience tension and strain while using this powerful tool. So what's the solution? How can we benefit from the computer skills that we just learned and yet still reap the benefits of a healthy lifestyle? Is there a way to avoid the many aches and pains that potentially come with long hours of computer work? Yes, but it starts with awareness and knowledge. In the following segment, we'll examine ways to reduce muscle tension, stiffness, and strain, while this can lead to repetitive strain injuries. We'll learn simple work area changes as well as stretching exercises that anyone can do anywhere. So yes, take your computer knowledge to new heights, enhance your skills, learn and explore, but protect your health along the way. Every day, millions of people feel the aches and pains brought on by long hours sitting or standing at a computer. Muscle tension, stiffness, or strain in the neck, the shoulders, arms, wrists, hands, back, and legs are common complaints, which can lead to RSI, repetitive strain injuries. What is RSI? RSI is an umbrella term for a group of injuries caused by repetitive movements or excessive demands on the body's muscles, the tendons, the joints, and the nerves, such as carpal tunnel syndrome, tendinitis, shoulder bursitis, low back pain, just to name a few. These injuries don't happen overnight, though. They develop over an extended period, and by the time it's realized, severe damage has occurred. So how can we avoid these injuries? Knowledge is extremely important. Most RSI injuries can be prevented by applying some small changes to our work environment and by including regular stretching periods throughout the day. Here are some ergonomic work area recommendations that I'm going to demonstrate, and hopefully you're also applying these at home or at work. For example, adjust your chair to meet your desk. You don't want to be overstraining to reach your area of work. You want to bring your chair in and make sure that your forearms are parallel to the floor, not elevated or in a downward position. Your elbows should be about 90 degrees bent. Maintain good posture. That means flat back, shoulders relaxed, feet flat on the ground. Because if you're working too long in this position, you're going to put undue strain on your lower lumbar. For that matter, if you'll be sitting for any length of time, and if you already have back problems, maybe it's a good idea to get some lumbar support for your back. Adjust your chair as well. And keep in mind, especially for the ladies, don't cross your legs for any length of time that's going to be for hours on end, because you're going to cut off the circulation. A little bit's okay, but make sure you uncross them and, keep them comfortably flat on the floor. Regarding your computer monitor, your eyes should be focused straight ahead. You shouldn't be straining your neck by having to hold your head up to look at your monitor or downward, or having to look this way as you're typing, because again, you're going to put undue strain on your neck. Regarding your eyes, it's a neglected area. We want to reduce the eye strain by perhaps using an anti-glare screen. Many monitors today already are built that way. But some things that you can do: eliminate excessive brights, whether they're coming inside the home or in your workplace or from the outside. And I know it might sound a little funny, but it's important to exercise your eyes. Blink them every so often, especially if you've been doing some data entry. Take your eyes away from your surface, your monitor, and blink them. So this way you can re-wet them and avoid dryness and irritation. And one more thing to avoid eye strain: take the time to look away from your monitor and look into the distance somewhere. It gives your eyes a little time to relax. Pick a keyboard that's soft to touch. Undue force can lead to fatigue and inflammation of the muscles and tendons in the wrists, which obviously can lead to tears and subsequently injury. If there are little legs on the keyboard, make sure you put them down as well. And keep your mouse close so you're not overreaching to use the mouse. In fact, regarding the keyboard, right here in this situation, my wrist and forearm is level. But if I was in this situation where my wrist is going down off the keyboard rest, I would need a wrist rest to elevate it. So be sure you pick up a wrist rest to make sure your forearms and your wrists are in line. And also, you should want to keep your hands floating above the keyboard. You should never want to press against a hard surface, because this is going to inhibit the blood flow to the hands. If you're doing a lot of phone work, some of you do, make sure that you use perhaps a headset or automatic dialers so you don't have to dial so much. And the fact of the matter is, if you pick up the phone and you're on the phone for this length of time for too long, guess what you're doing? Creating undue stress on the neck. Another good idea. Now, for those of you who have data entry jobs or other jobs that are repetitively moving those hands for any length of time, be sure to vary the pace. Rotate your job assignments. Get up from that particular position and do something else for a little bit and then come back to it. So you take a break. Because again, those muscles and tendons will fatigue and strain because there's inadequate time to recover because you're repetitively typing. Lastly, take regular rest breaks from any particular activity, extensive repetition movements like we just talked about on the keyboard, or maybe you're sitting too long or standing too long, or maybe you're in an awkward position for too long. Simply get up and move. And lastly, stretch. And that's where we'll lead into our next discussion. Stretching is important because taking regular stretch breaks keeps the proper blood flow of nutrients to the working tissues of the body. This way you avoid those repetitive strain injuries we mentioned earlier, RSI. And it will also help to relieve muscle tension, improve circulation, reduce fatigue, decrease stress, and simply make you feel better. But here's a few helpful reminders before we start. I'll be going through a sectional progression of stretches, starting from head to toe. These stretches can be performed anytime, anywhere, with no special equipment or special clothing. It doesn't even have to take a lot of time. It's recommended to take short stretch breaks at least once every hour. And stretching doesn't have to be predetermined. You can spontaneously stretch any area of the body that feels tense at that moment. But if a stretch doesn't feel quite right to you, review the form again or discontinue it. Not every stretch is for every person. Always stretch in a slow and controlled manner. No bouncing or force throughout the stretch. Simply hold a gentle, static position for about 3 to 5 or even 10 seconds, depending on your need for that stretch. Repeat a few times as needed. You should feel a sensation of tension but no pain. And never hold your breath. Rather, you can actually help de-stress the body by taking in deep breaths along with your stretches. You simply inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth and exhale on the furthest part of your stretch. As you begin to learn these stretches, practice them at home with me. Then start incorporating a few stretches at a time while you're working. You don't have to learn them all at once. Perhaps just learn the stretches that you need the most, or simply break down the body by section. Now, regarding posture, any of these moves can be performed seated or standing. You simply need to sit or stand straight up with the arms by the side of the body, and if seated, sit on the edge of your chair. Note that standing may not always be convenient. However, standing does enhance certain stretches. Well, let's get started. We're going to feel so much better. Join me. Now I'm going to be demonstrating some stretches by body part, but a little reminder, if you're already experiencing some pain, be sure to see your doctor because my recommendations are not meant to substitute medical treatment. So here we go. We're going to go and start with the head and the neck. Obviously, sectional progression head to toe. You're going to start with your chin and you're going to take it to the right side. And remember the suggestion before, you hold it. You come back center. Take the chin center, now chin to the left side. And again, how long you need depends on your feeling. How much strain do you have? Next, we'll take our right ear to the right shoulder. Simply take it down gently, and don't forget, inhale and exhale on the longest part of your stretch. Take it back center, and now go to the left side. Inhale and exhale. Next, take your head and simply take your chin up to the ceiling. You should feel some release in that tension where it starts at the base of your skull. Take it down now, chin slowly. Always pause as you move, as you progress into the next move. Take it down and hold it. This is one of my favorites. Feel that tension be released. And now, right from here, another essential move, simply take your head and simply roll it. I don't need you to lift your head up. I need you simply to drop and roll the head to one side. You're going to feel this amazing strain just leave your neck. Come back center, slowly, always progress. No rushing, right? Take it over to the left side. And again, feel that strain just pass away. Drop and roll. Those are your operative words. Take it back up and slowly come on up. Next, we're going to move into the shoulders. Take the shoulders and shrug them up. Think about taking those shoulders and meeting your ears. They're called shoulder shrugs. Take them up and down. This also affects your trapezius muscles. You'll feel some release there as well. Another effective move for the shoulder is the roll. Simply take nice large rolls to the back, maybe 4 or 5 repetitions. And then you want to proceed, obviously, to the front. Shoulder rolls to the front. What you're doing again, you're releasing that muscle tension that rides up, so familiar in the workforce. And lastly, for the shoulders, a posterior deltoid stretch. Take the elbow in and bring it into your chest or your torso. And you're going to feel this amazing stretch also for the back of the shoulders. Remember, strain can be avoided if you take a little time throughout your day to apply these stretches. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. Next, we're going to move into our forearms and our hands, right? We talked about that before, how important it is to take breaks from repetitive movements. Well, here's your little break. A simple one to start with is take your hands by the side of your body and just shake them out. Take them out about 10 to 15 seconds to shake out the hands and the wrists. And then after you're done with that, after you feel a little relaxed, simply lay down those hands and sweep out the palms out to one side, hold maybe for 3 seconds, and then sweep them back in. You might feel a little awkward in the beginning doing these, but your body will benefit greatly. Okay, hand sweeps. Next, something I call the hand flip. Extend your arms out and take them out to the front, hold them, and then simply flip them over. Easy to remember, hand flip. Maybe you can get your coworkers also to engage you on doing some of these stretches with you. Bring the DVD to work too. They'll benefit. Simply hold and never rush your stretches. The next one is called a fist opening. Simply make a fist real tight and then open them out wide. Again, make a fist. You can go through a few repetitions. There's no hard, fast rules on how long you hold it or how many repetitions you do. Simply do what feels good for you, what you need at the moment. The wrist bend, real essential for the forearm. Simply take your wrist and bend down your hand. Here, we're stretching the extensors, the arm extensors. They get tight with a lot of typing. Conversely, we need to stretch the flexors. So take the wrist and bring it upward, and then you'll feel this pressure being released in the forearm. Of course, anything I do on one side, obviously you would do on the other side as well. How long is up to you. Make sure it feels good. A couple more, something I call the prayer arm. You want to use your desk and press your elbows into the desk. Make sure your wrists come down close. You want to be able to touch the desk with your wrists. As you press those hands in, you'll feel a release in tension in the wrist by pressing those wrists down to the desk. And the last one, if you're doing a lot of data entry, another good one is something I call the finger crawl. This is how you do it. Remember, 3 basic moves. You take your hands out, extend them, right? You make a fist, and then watch my fingers. I'm going to crawl my fingers out. This is great, especially if you do a lot of phone work too. I'll do it again. Take my hands, or your hands, extend them out, make a fist, and watch my fingers. I'm going to extend them and crawl them away from my fists. Now let's move on to the upper back and chest. Shoulder blade, elevation and depression. Simply take your arms up, elevate, and depress down. And when you're depressing down, because that's the technical name for it, you want to bring those shoulder blades down. Those wing bones, they should be coming down at an angle. And make it nice and large. And don't forget to breathe. Inhale, and you exhale on the deepest part of your stretch. Pressing again down the shoulder blades. Now arch back and scoop. If you happen to have wheels on your chair, you might not want to do this particular stretch on the chair. It might be a better option to stand up. So I'm going to turn to the side and give you a demonstration. You want to arch your back and then simply scoop it in. Arch your back and scoop it in. This also affects, if you notice, the lower back as well as your hips. A great stretch. And again, you could do this seated. Just be careful. You don't want to be tipping over. I don't want to create more damage than necessary. But keep that in mind. You could also do it seated as long as the chair is correct. There's no wheels on it. Now, for the full back, you can take your arms up, reach above the head, reach center out of the rib cage. Inhale, and then take it over. Exhale to one side. Again, take it up center, reach above, out of the rib cage, and then take it to the other side. This affects your arms, your hands, believe it or not. If you notice where your hands are, you're getting a good hand stretch and a forearm stretch, and the shoulders as well. Now, a variety of stretches can be taken a little bit further. We're going to take that same stretch and add something to it. Take the hands above the head. We're going to reach it over again. But this time I'm going to take my arm down. I'm going to reach a little further. And now I'm going to take that arm out into a lat sweep, a latissimus dorsi sweep from my lower back. You see what's going on here? I'm stretching my back. Again, other side. Take it above the head, over to the right, drop the arm, and then reach a little further, and then drop it out to the front lat sweep. One more for the lower back. One more section, because you can break down the back in 3 different sections. The knee hug. You want a full seat on this one. This way you have good support. You want to lean forward and pick up the knee and think about nose to knee, because then you're going to stretch the neck as well as the lower back. So nose to knee is a good way to remember your knee hug. Other side, of course, take the knee up, drop the head down, and release that tension in the neck as well as the lower back. And don't forget to breathe. I have to keep reminding you. Go back to the edge of your seat. Remember, we mentioned that earlier in the suggestions. Airplane crash. I know it doesn't sound so nice, but take the arms, take them down below the body, and just drop the head down. You'll notice you're going to also get a stretch right here, where the tension brings up to the cranium. Stretch out that lower back. And then what you do is you slowly roll the torso up. Never move throughout your stretches fast or jerky. Always take it slow and control. One more, the cat roll. So essential. Then we'll move down to the legs. We're going to stand up, and I'm going to turn to the side so you can get a good view. You simply take your body down. You create a dip. You'll notice there's a dip in my back. And then I'm going to go into the cat, like a scaredy cat position. And again, we're lubricating the spine here while we stretch the lower back. I'll do it again. Dip the spine, create that well, and then arc the body, arc the back. And don't forget to breathe. Don't hold the breath. Blood pressure rises when you're holding your breath. We don't want to add more problems to the scenario. We want to be able to stretch the body and make it feel good. All right, that's your cat roll. Let's move on to the hips and legs. You notice how we're breaking down the body by parts? We're now down here. Let's take our leg and cross it over the other side, and this is going to stretch out our outer thigh, our back, and our glutes, but we have to lower the body down, and then you'll be able to feel that stretch on the outer thigh. And just lean into the leg. Don't forget, you want to be able to hold them for a few seconds. Don't rush your stretches. The objective is it makes you feel better. When we rush them, what's the point, right? Cross over, make sure you do the other side. You want to be even, and bring it down, and you're going to feel this great stretch on the outer thigh. Not to mention, the back and the glutes also get a hit. Let's move on to our feet, because these are so important, and I find these to be most effective. Our quadricep. We have 4 major muscles on our quads, down here on our thighs. We want to be able to use maybe the desk or some stable object like the wall and grab hold of the foot and bring it behind you. Now, you'll notice my knees are parallel. They're not out here. You've got to bring them back together, and if you can't hold the foot, don't worry about it. It's not necessary. As long as that leg is up. Some people can't reach back there. It's all right. Be sure to keep the legs parallel. You're still going to be able to stretch the quadricep. Of course, do the other side as well. You can also do it without balance support if you're pretty good with balance. Now the hip flexor. The really tight area if you've been sitting for any length of time. The hip flexor is great, but you need a little space for it. You open up the distance, your stance, and you're going to simply dip down slightly, and you're going to notice you're going to feel the stretch here in your psoas muscles. You want to be able to stretch this area. Again, if you're sitting at the desk for hours at end, got to get off your feet, got to move about. And of course, do the other side. Are you practicing with me? I hope so. Take it down. Feel that stretch. You don't have to go that low. This is not necessary. We're talking about little range of motion here. Now the hamstring, which is tied into the Achilles tendon, the calf, the soleus, and the gastrocnemius, and the hamstring, very tight muscles, especially if you have lower back pain. I'm going to use a chair, okay? You can certainly use a low step or a stair at your office or at your home, but it's really effective if you take the foot up and you lean into that leg, soft knees, never a straight joint, by the way, when you do any of your stretches, and you bring in that toe close to you. If you can reach it, great. You don't necessarily have to reach it. And again, you're going to be getting a stretch here in the ankle, where the Achilles tendon is found, the soleus gastrocnemius, and especially the hamstring. Okay? Be sure to do the other side. Hang on to something if you need support. And again, you could use a chair or a step. And even if you don't have those available, maybe you can't reach up a chair, watch this. You could do it on the floor. You're not going to get as deep as a stretch as if you elevated the leg. Let's move on, speaking of. You notice we're moving down to the ankles and to the feet. You want to sit back into your chair. Remember, sit on the edge. Get support. And you're going to take your leg out. And your ankle is what we're going to focus on. You want to flex and you want to point. You'll find that a lot of these stretches are compounded. They don't just stretch one area. We're also stretching the calf and the quads at the same time here. And the other side, a few repetitions. How many? 3 to 5. If you need a few more, that's fine. But be sure to use proper form and inhale and exhale on the furthest part of your stretch. Still continuing the ankles and the feet. Take your leg out, extend it, and circle inward, the ankle. And you know what goes in must go out. Circle out as well. And as I recommended earlier, you might not be able to do all these stretches all at once. Maybe concentrate on the area that's giving you the most problems right now and do those stretches. Or simply break down the body and take a section by section and do a set each day. How do you feel? I know your muscles are relaxed, your circulation is improved, your posture is better, and I'm sure you feel a little less stressed. And keep in mind, the stretches you've learned today can be performed anywhere, anytime, not just while working at the computer. Even when you're at home, when you wake up or when you go to bed, in the car, or anytime you feel a little bit tense or stressed. No need to jeopardize your health as you continue learning and working with computers. Computers are here to stay. In fact, the Fun to Know series will be putting out another DVD title called Desk Workout that incorporates a more in-depth stretching discussion, strength training exercises that you can do at your desk, and the ability to manage stress using a breathing technique that will prove priceless when under stress. Be sure to check it out. But in the meantime, be aware of your work area surroundings and use the stretching knowledge you've gained to achieve optimum health while using your computer. Good health to you.